On today's episode of Chaos to Calm, cleaning my house, we are sorting out this fridge. I needed to do this more than anything. It was horrific, as we can see. It's actually kind of embarrassing for me because I am usually on top of it, okay? I know that sounds like a lie looking at this, but I do normally keep it pretty clean. This just tends to happen if I do a grocery shop and I didn't clean the previous week, and then I don't clean for another week. So we then have 2 full weeks of built up mess. So anyway, I knew that my hair needed to come out. This was not the do for the video. It just was frustrating me already. And my hair is a big sensory point for me. So if she's tugging at my scalp, I'm done, okay? The hair comes out. We need something more relaxing. Anyway, I'm still going on about my hair apparently, but I will get straight into it because I did throw out quite a bit. Now, it's not a lot of food in hindsight, it's more just a lot of half empty things like sauces or containers where there might be like 2 extra bites in there, but that person doesn't come back to eat it. Not me, not me, not me. And then the rest is just that second lot of groceries that has just piled up on top of the old stuff. So we had stuff that I hadn't put away, stuff that needed to go. We just had a mix of everything today. And I have, oh yes, apparently I have moldy cheese. But I have plans to organize the mother out of this because it is almost unworkable. Well, it's not really. It's just that I like the way that it looks when I have the extra shelving in there and the more organization. I mean, we're not looking for like TikTok kind of organization where everything has like an acrylic container. That's just not my life, and it doesn't happen half the time. Like, there was a container that I really wanted from Kmart. It had it's one container and it had 4 compartments inside. And I was like, oh, I'm going to use that all the time. And I haven't. I have not used it. And that's the frustrating thing about TikTok and about all these different platforms. It makes you feel like you need it when you actually don't. Okay, so I wasted about $10 there. Although it is really, really cute, and I do like it for the times that I have like grapes or lots of fruit or anything that I can organize, it does make a big difference. Anyway, I watch a lot of those TikToks where they do like fridge refills and whatever, and then you see them, they buy like 5 different canned drinks and it takes up the entire row of the fridge. And I'm just like, I don't have that kind of luxury. Maybe they've got these huge fridges and I just have a small one, but I feel like that's a lot of drink. I mean, we just are like Coke and water kind of people over here with the occasional milk. So maybe that's why it seems like it's a lot, but it's probably a normal household, and I'm just shocked by that. But they are so organized. Okay, they have these cute little can holders that pushes the can to the front when it's getting low. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is more than I could ever do." I saw one with a rectangle Lazy Susan inside their fridge, with all the condiments and all the things necessary. And I thought, what a space saving idea, okay? I'm not the kind of girl to have a Lazy Susan in her fridge. Well, yet, anyway, who knows? I say that now, but I might change. I will say that the shelving that I'm doing currently is just probably like my least favorite part of doing the entire thing, just because it will have crusted on milk or crusted on food, or someone put a yogurt container in there and it spilled. And so then it took me years and years and years to work out how to remove the shelves from here, because I tried just pulling them up, I tried pulling them out, I had no idea. And I never actually thought to look it up. Like, come on, that's a little too much effort for trying to clean it. So yes, I would try to do it while it was attached to the fridge door, which of course, definitely not the easiest way. So I did learn that just a real good punch to the bottom of the shelf pops it out so easily. And since then, they've been pretty good at staying clean. You'll see in here that I can dismantle my fridge pretty well. Like, I take out all the shelves. I used to not do that because that terrified me. For some reason, it was so hard to put the shelf back in. So I just would like wipe it while it was there. But honestly, they do need like a really, really good soak from time to time. Somehow the junk just gets all over it in all these tiny little cracks. And I'm thinking, who designed a fridge to have so many places for stuff to get gross in? Surely they would know that there is a lot of people who would spill liquids in their fridge, and I for sure am one of them. But like they just like put so many little lines and grooves on everything, and it could just be a flat surface. Well, I mean, I'm sure they've got a reason for it, and I'm just too lazy to understand. So, the cook in one of my previous jobs used to have a meat tray. It's actually probably like a shoe tray, really, inside the fridge, and would put all the meat on the fridge on the bottom shelf. And I mean, this was for food safety standards. But I'm like, I really need to adopt that behavior because there'd be meat juices everywhere. Like on this thing, the amount of sticky crap that's on it, and I hate pulling this piece of glass out, right? It's the shelf above the two drawers, and I'm terrified that one day it's just going to crack or absolutely shatter everywhere while I'm doing this. And then I'm like, oh, I got to source this out because, it's going to be a pain in the booty if we don't have that shelf. That is where everything goes. Any leftovers or anything that's in a pot that we just chuck a lid on and throw in the fridge, all that kind of thing goes on that shelf. So we definitely could not live without her. She is the G, the goat, as the kids say. But speaking of leftovers, my husband did buy me a pan set. It was quite random. He was going through a little bit of a Facebook ads phase. Thank goodness we've come out on the other side of that because there was some odd things that came from there. But he bought me a pan set, and it was like the ones with the clickable handles, and you could cook your dinner in the pot, then take the handle off, and then once it was cool, put like a different lid on it and put it in the fridge. Which I think it's just like a rip-off of maybe the Caraway pans. I don't know. The ones that are like $200-300 for just one pan. Side note, I will say that I do love using my vacuum in the fridge. I love using it everywhere, okay? I've said this before, but if I'm going to spend the amount of money that I did on that Dyson, I will use her until she is no more, okay? I will love her for the rest of time. Anyway, back to the pan story that I know you're dying to hear. I've loved it. It's great. We are king and queen of putting the dinner pot straight into the fridge and not using what do they call it? Tupperware containers. And you know what? That's fine. I am fine. We cannot be all round perfection over here, okay? No, I'm kidding. I'm far from that. But at least with these pans and pots, I feel like I'm not a slob. Like, it's not like I've just gone, okay, what is the easiest option here? So anyway, I just thought you should know that there are cheaper options out there if you are such person and struggle to actually do that, because it is a lot. By the time that I've done dinner, gotten my kids ready for bed, and then actually in bed and actually asleep, I'm exhausted. I don't want to muck around with putting dinner away, okay? So anyway, I gotta go get my son from school, but here's a song for you to listen to instead of my voice. I was falling through the air. No one but myself to hold my hand. Standing in the shadows of where we have been. Sleeping with your back facing me. I know this isn't us. Baby, pull me closer, let's fall in love. Oh, I can feel my body move to every move you make. And I can feel the tension every time we're close. I know whatever happens, I will have you next to me. 'Cause tonight we have it all. 'Cause we're dancing as one. 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 We've been in two places all at once. Wish that what we said would come undone. Feels like our minds have been turned off. Haven't seen each other for so long. I know this isn't us. Baby, pull me closer, let's fall in love. Oh, I can feel my body
Make sure we get through this. Let's just keep on dancing as one. 'Cause we're 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 dancing as one.
Okay, I don't always clean my grapes like this. I feel like it's a 50-50 with me, okay? Depends how hungry and how much I want to snack on the grapes. But today was a salad spinner kind of day. I felt like I had the energy and the effort to actually put in to do it. Anyway, I do love this container. I think I got it from like a kitchen warehouse. You know, one of those random ones with the discounted kitchen stuff. And it's just like a stackable one. As you can see, I did put, well, I tried to fit the cheese and the bacon in there, but it was just wasn't going to happen. But I do love to use it for stacking the ham, the cheese, and usually salami if I end up buying that. Just because it's so accessible and it is something we use pretty frequently. My kids love ham and cheese sandwiches, so I'm always reaching for that. And instead of having to like dig around my fridge like a raccoon in a dumpster, I can just grab that. I also got these cute little drawer things from Kmart. I think they're like five, maybe $6, but yeah, the apples didn't end up fitting. Hardly anything fits in there, but I do love it for storing random things like lemons or cucumbers or whatever. And then also these were from Aldi. These were $5 and I have loved the heck out of them. Okay, you guys, it has been fantastic. Highly recommend because you can actually fit stuff all the way to the back of the fridge and it's not as difficult to reach to, if that makes sense. I mean, it's all totally unnecessary, but if you do like things a little bit more organized, I would recommend checking them out. I think it was like the Crofton brand from Aldi, and it's so affordable. I find it kind of hard to film like the inside of my fridge. It's sort of a weird angle, and then the lighting's always a bit weird. So, anyway, I did manage to, tidy it up quite a bit. Does look nice and fresh, which is always so nice because, doing the grocery shopping is an immense task, okay? I do love a good click and collect. I do love a good delivery, but sometimes I just forget to do it. I just don't have time to sit on the computer and do it. So, going to the store, getting everything, then packing it at the self serve, and then taking it to your car, and then unpacking it when you get home. There's nothing worse than once you've done all of that, you open your fridge and you have nowhere to put anything, okay? I will be the first to admit that usually by the time I've done that, if there's no one at home to help me, I will just push the cold stuff in. If there's a little bit of space, all the cold stuff goes into the fridge and the freezer, and then the groceries just sit out for a minute. Like, I am not, like, I don't want to see you again. We've met too many times in one day. It's not happening. I then like to have a little rest and probably have a treat that I picked up along the way in the groceries. It's hard work. It's hard work. We deserve it. And then after that, I'll put everything away and then rinse and repeat for the rest of my life. Anyway, let me know if you're old school or if you do click and collect or delivery because sometimes I can't justify a delivery fee. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I actually use this container for now. It will be ham and salami, and she does work pretty well. It doesn't dry out the meat, which originally I thought it might because it's not airtight like most food storage containers. I mean, the top where the lid is, but the two bottom layers aren't. So it still manages to keep the meat pretty moist, if you will. And they don't go moldy. It takes quite a long time for anything to even look a bit funky in there. So I just like to do it like this, and then it seems like I can see all the meat because I do buy ham constantly. So at least this way I can see what I've got. Anyway, welcome to my freezer. I did come back and realize, hey, this is just as bad as the fridge was, just in her own je ne sais quoi way. And yeah, so this is what we're looking at. As you can probably tell, I clean my fridge regularly. And by regularly, I mean maybe once a year if she's lucky. I mean, I'll take the junky stuff out of the bottom of the freezer, but that's about it, okay? It's an ordeal, and let me tell you, today was no different. Yes, I still have that in my freezer. It is what it is. Anyway, by the end of this video, you'll understand what I mean because, oh, when I tell you I could go on strike for the rest of my life from that experience, yeah, I'm not kidding. Anyway, so I just decided to pull everything out, and that was my first mistake because things started to quickly defrost because I was just leaving it on my bench, and it is what it is. A lot of these things, ugh, okay, that was just, I forgot it was this bad. I'm really sorry. I should have put a warning on here because that was horrific. That just shocked me as well. Yeah, but we have a lot of meat because we don't tend to buy meat at, say, Woolworths or Coles or whatever, not very often. Um, Actually, I should say it's like 50-50. So my husband does order some meat, but then sometimes I buy what I want if we're going through a bit of a lull and we don't have much left in the freezer. So anything fish related, that all gets ordered. We don't typically buy it from Woolworths because I think it's a lot more expensive and just nowhere near as nice. So that's why we have lots and lots of little packets of salmon. I think you can only order it in like 5 kilo bulk amount. So my original game plan for doing this was just spraying it and then using the electric brush on all the like thicker stained areas, but I just found that it wasn't doing much at all. Like it was felt more of a task than it had to be. So I just went and got a microfiber cloth and wiped all the gunk out. I was gonna vacuum it, but because we have the ice that you saw that's everywhere, it was just gonna go in my vacuum and then melt and then probably cause issues. So I decided against that, which I think was honestly the better idea. If you're ever at my house and I offer you an icy cold drink, maybe reject that offer. I wouldn't be offended, honestly. I wouldn't give you the ones that were touching the icky, gross stuff. You'd get a fresh one for sure. Anyway, I really need ideas for how you guys store stuff. I used to buy the $3 grey lid containers from Kmart, and they worked, but they sort of just kind of broke apart. I think they're really not designed for the freezer at all. So, any suggestions for something a little sturdier? They lasted me a couple years, but would I do it again? Probably not. And the Systema ones that I wanted, I think they were the Brilliant or Brilliance or something like that. They're not continued anymore at Woolworths. I don't know if they still exist. I have to look beyond the one shop that I've looked at. But I used to buy them half off, but now they don't have them. So, a little bit devastated because I feel like that's something I could use for the freezer. I should start by saying if you gag easily, this bit is not for you, okay? It's probably the worst part of the freezer overall, by far, actually, because, yeah, I can't even remember if I've actually cleaned this. I mean, I probably have, but like maybe once before. Like, I don't know, it's just not something I think about until I'm doing something like this, and I'm like, oh my god. Thank God you don't eat anything from in there, but like, seriously. But also, like, how? Yeah, I just don't know how that happens when it's not really something we drop food. I mean, I'm guessing we do. Like, let's be real, we are dropping food on here, but how? It's like wedged. Anyway, doesn't matter. Does not matter. It all came off pretty easily, like with minimal scrubbing, but I do use the Bossacito, I can never say Bossacito's multi-purpose spray, or there's another one that I've recently switched to, Saba Organics, and I do really love that. I love switching between the two because, using the same multi-purpose cleaner gets a little boring when we've got to clean the kitchen every day, right? So switching it up, just a little bit of brightness, okay? So anyway, I did get into the crevices. I'm jumping back and forth here because I have a few stories I need to tell, but I really wanted to just try and get into all the hard to reach places just because I was trying to do such a deep clean. I didn't want to just do a quick one and like leave half the crumbs behind. So when I would move things like the basket, I saw more crumbs on the sides and then I saw more crumbs down the bottom, which by the way is probably just all the chicken nugget crumbs and like chicken tender crumbs that we have around here. So I got in there, and then of course I saw down the bottom. Mind you, I'm at the end of cleaning the freezer, so I'm not going to use this cloth again inside. But I saw the feet of my fridge, and I was like, that's disgusting. That's probably worse than the bottom of my freezer. So I was like going in and scrubbing, scrubbing, scrubbing. I couldn't go to all that effort and just leave the feet behind, could I? Now, this is when the real annoyance started because, as you can see, I tried to put the basket back and she didn't work. So then I yanked the basket out and this black metal bar popped out. And when I tell you, she was the biggest pain in the booty. It must have taken me 40 minutes to try and get that bar back in. And I am not exaggerating, okay? I was about to lose it. I'm gonna give this one more try, but I'm about to lose it. I was so stressed, but man, I got that bar in, okay? But you know when you're sweaty and suddenly everything is a sensory overload and God forbid someone talk to you at that time. That's how I felt, okay? That was me when I was trying to get this bar in. It was like, I'm going to do this. Like, God forbid I have to ask someone to help me to do it. Not going to happen. So anyway, I then went and put this basket in, and oh my God, when I tell you that was the next level of trouble, I'm not joking. I put it in and the freezer wouldn't close. I tried everything to push that damn basket back in and it just would not work. And I got so frustrated, I ended up just throwing all the freezer stuff into the freezer and closing it as best as I could because I tried to battle that for 15 minutes and I said, no, my husband can work that out. When he gets home, I'm done. I'm signing off for the day. Anyway, no word of a lie, he comes home. I show him what's happened, okay? And he goes, you've put it in backwards. Like the second he looked at it, he's like, it's backwards. And I must have stared at that thing for so, so long. Ugh, anyway, that's my frustration. But this is it. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Sorry we left on such a wild ending there, but I'll see you in the next one.